We call the Board of Mayor Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, February the 27th to order. First order of business is the opening prayer for Pastor Johnny Bird of Legacy Church. I'd ask you to stand for the prayer, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, thank you. Thank you for the awesome opportunity to gather in such a great city and make decisions that are going to affect what happens in this city. God, I thank you for the men and women who are serving so diligently in our city, God, from our board and aldermen to our every Bartlett City employee. God, thank you for their faithfulness to you. Now, Lord, I ask that you would influence our decisions tonight. God, that you would give us grace on everything that we hear and see. God, that we would not only do what we think is best, but we would do what you would have us do in our fair city. God, give us grace to make decisions. And God, give us mercies even in moments when we don't get everything right. Lord, may your peace be upon us. And Lord, I pray for Susan's knee surgery, God, that you would be with her. And Lord, just be with Jack as he's a caretaker. And God, give us grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Johnny. Madam Clerk, will you read future meetings into the record, please?
Family Assistance Commission, March 4th at 6 p.m. Planning Commission, March 4th at 6:30 p.m. Beer Board, March 5th at 6 p.m. Bartlett Station Commission, March 6th at 7:30 a.m. City Beautiful Commission, March 7th at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll recognize any scouts if there are any in the crowd. If so, please stand up. Seeing no crowds, no scouts in the crowd, we will move to approval of the minutes. Madam Clerk, will you read item 1, approval, please?
The minutes of the February 13th, 2024 Board of Mayor and Aldermen regular meeting.
You've received the minutes in your packet. If there's no questions, omissions, or errors, Chair to entertain a motion to approve.
Move we approve.
Properly motioned.
Second.
And second. Any discussion on the minutes? If not, please, Madam Clerk, we present the rolls so the Alderman can vote. Minutes are approved, unanimous. We move to unfinished business. First item under unfinished business is item 1. Madam Clerk, will you read that into the record, please?
Second reading of Ordinance 24-02, an ordinance establishing the YMCA Advisory Board.
For explanation, Mr. Ed McKinney, Jr., the City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Not a junior attorney, but a junior.
It's junior. I'm sorry.
It's good, Ed.
I missed a couple of words there, I think. This is the second reading of Ordinance 2402. As everybody knows, the YMCA is going to be managed now by, the Bartlett Rec will be managed by the YMCA. So we're establishing an advisory board for that purpose. The ordinance sets forth what the terms are and how people are appointed and how they're removed and what their responsibilities are. There's no need to go back over all that again unless you have questions about it.
Move we approve.
Been properly motioned and second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, thank you, Mr. McKinney. Madam Clerk, please present the roll to the Alderman. Second reading of Ordinance 24-02 passes unanimous. Now we move to the consent items. We have two items on the consent agenda. Any alderman can remove any item they wish for separate discussion. Hearing no.
Move we approve.
Second that.
Been properly motioned, and Madam Clerk, you can read it in the record if you want to, or take the vote.
I will read it into the record. Item 1, authorization to auction surplus property. Item 2, Treasurer's Report for January 2024.
Thank you. Please present the roll.
Count me as aye, please.
Consent agenda passes unanimous. Under new business, Madam Clerk, you read item number 1.
Resolution 08-24, resolution to revise and update the personnel policies for the City of Bartlett, Tennessee.
Mr. Ted Archdeacon, you're recognized, Director of Personnel.
Yep, we'd like to add one additional appointed position, that of Chief Communications Officer. Move we approve.
Properly motioned and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please present the roll. Thank you. Resolution 08-24 passes unanimous. Madam Clerk, please read item number 2.
Resolution 09-24, resolution to amend the fiscal year 2024 grant fund budget to recognize Shelby County Commission grant award totaling $200,000 to the City of Bartlett for public safety and security purposes.
Mr. Dick Phoebus, Director of Finance, you're recognized.
This is a grant coming to us from Shelby County Commission. It was sponsored by Commissioner Mick Wright. We appreciate that for him. It's total $200,000 to be used for public safety and security purposes.
Any questions?
No questions. I move we approve.
A second.
Properly motioned. Second. Any discussion? Is Commissioner Mick Wright in the crowd? He was here earlier. I don't see him, but I do want to recognize his willingness to grant that. We would not have got the money without the help of Commissioner Mick Wright, and we do thank you, Mr. Wright, and the county for awarding this $200,000 worth of funds, and they will be used in a good manner. So, Madam Clerk, will you present the roll on Resolution 09-24? And it passes unanimously. So now we move to item number 3. Madam Clerk, read Resolution 10-24 in the record, please.
Resolution 10-24, resolution to amend the fiscal year 2024 general fund budget to appropriate $200,000 for peace officer supplement pay for police department certified personnel.
Mr. Dick Phoebus, you're recognized.
These funds have been received from the state of Tennessee, $103,200 for $800 each for each certified officer, and this will be included upon passage of this resolution in their February 29th paycheck.
If no questions, move we approve.
Been motioned.
Second.
Been properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please present the roll? Resolution 10-24 passes unanimous. Madam Clerk, will you read item number 4 to the record?
Proposal for a citywide emergency mass notification system.
Police Chief Jeff Cox, I just make note that we just approved Resolution 09-24 receiving $200,000, and this is an expenditure of that $200,000. And we have Chief Cox to give an explanation of what that emergency mass notification system is.
Thank
Chief
you, Mayor,
Cox.
Board of Aldermen. During the severe storms, we after action decided that we have communication problems in our city. When social media goes down, with the internet going down, with the news outlets going down, it's hard for us to communicate to our citizens on updates, whether it be road closures or outlets or even severe warnings of weather. So we wanted to come up with to develop and to implement an emergency mass communication system in our city. We got with the mayor and the other directors in our city, and we came up with HyperReach as being the company we'd like to go to. And what that is that they'll be able to notify areas of our city that's affected by disasters all at one time, just like an Amber Alert that you get on your phone. The mayor mentioned it today at the state of Bartlett, and he did a great job, by the way. And it's a system that I think we cannot afford to have, and it will be paid for out of the grant that the Shelby County Commission has given us.
Chief, I'd like one other point. This is a contract for 3 years of service. So, Chair would entertain a motion for approval.
Move we approve.
Second.
Been properly second. Any discussion?
I do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Chief Cox, is that the initial cost? Is there a yearly fee that we pay after the initial cost of that, or?
We're going to sign a contract for 3 years for $39,675.
Okay.
And then after 3 years, we'll renegotiate.
Right.
Or if we're not happy, we'll do something different.
All right. Thank you.
So, quick question for me. So this is obviously dependent on cell service, correct? Or cell tower availability.
Right.
So in the case of
this past event, we had issues with cell service, correct?
That's right.
Would this have worked in that situation?
It would have worked on limited access because some phones didn't go down. I had cell phone. My cell phone was up the whole time. I never lost service.
I just know that a lot of people, depending on where they were, just had no cell service. Particularly in my part of Bartlett, cell service didn't work for me. I'm just saying that I understand this and I support it. And when you have a real large disaster like that, where the cell towers are inundated because there's no
The only way it would not work in those areas if the cell towers were not operating, but that would be the only way.
Okay.
As long as there's type of any cell power, like any cell towers that were up and running, they'll be able to reach.
This is not a subscription process per se. People don't opt into it. It's basically a blast from the cell tower to a particular area.
Exactly right. We'll have a committee at the police department that will decide when to send those out and where to send them out, and it'll be done through our dispatch communications center.
So the dispatch center will send out the alerts. Okay. And this is not being used for any other use case. This is just disasters. We're not using to send out blast about events for the city and stuff like that, or are we? As part of communications.
CO Steve Sons.
Yeah, so I think this can be elaborated upon as much as we want, right? Okay. So immediately in the aftermath of the storm, as Chief mentioned, this was something we had to address. And we talked to several other police departments, not only internally and fire departments as well. Chief Gately vetted several. This currently on GSA contract was one that everybody was saying was probably the best option to go with. So that's the direction we're going. But yes, to answer your question, this can be elaborated upon to do stuff as simple as, say, a field is going to be ringed out. Literally, parks could, that database, you could go and do that. But we're starting with this version, and then we'll slowly trickle it in over time.
So based upon the cost we're spending today, if we wanted to increase the usage of it,
this is it. This is the cost.
This is the cost, so we can send out as many notifications as
we want. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
For 3 years, that would be the cost, the total cost for any communications that we do.
I think this is needed, by the way, and I'm glad that you guys are pursuing this, because one of the biggest issues we have is how we communicate with citizens. A lot of them don't get information through anything, just to be honest with you, and we need the capability to blast out information. That way they know what's happening. So thank you for doing this. I think
one of the reasons that I really like this is this system here actually give us the ability to go in and polygon a certain area and not have to do the whole city. And we're looking at in using in areas of subdivisions that are getting repaved, in areas that's what's really unique is we like to be able to, if we're working on a water main and your neighborhood doesn't have service, that we could polygon those areas right there. But initially, this is what we're going to try to do, and because it was a grant, that's why we coupled 3 years of service.
Yeah, you guys going to create a SOP around this, basically, about when we use it, how we use it.
And that's what Chief Cox is referring to.
We'll have a policy in place at the police department, and we'll have certain individuals that can authorize those usage.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Alderman Quinn.
Thank you. I think you're asking about Alderman Reeves about the sign up. That was on one of the flyers that was included. It talked about hitting people's landlines, but cell service, you never know where people's phones are registered, and I think that's the question you're talking about. And there is opt-in. People will need to opt in for some things, especially if you want your Alexa to do it and stuff like that. So there was a lot of good information that was attached to this. That by the time the chief information officer gets it out to the citizens, I think we'll get a lot of sign-ups.
Thank you, Alderman Quinn, for bringing it up, but they won't be able to opt in. They'll have to opt out.
I have to opt out.
Okay, well, it said opt in on here. Okay, but okay. We're doing it the opposite. Okay.
So if you no longer want to, when you see that notification and you do not want to participate, you'll have a chart you'll be able to pick. That do you want to be notified if there's a disaster? You'll be able to opt out of those options, and you'll no longer be able to receive them.
Okay, so everybody, regardless of where their phone is registered or anything like that, anybody that's within the tower is going to get pinged with everything like that. So even if they're visiting, they'll get the emergency alerts, right?
And this is just a piece to, because one of the things that hopefully we don't have another event where the whole city's out without power, but this affected internet. It affected basically almost all lines of communication, and through other grants, we're working on areas to get backup generators and get sufficient redundancy behind that so that we don't end up in the same position again. Any more questions? Robert, did you have your hand up? Okay. Thank you. If there's no more questions for Chief Cox, Madam Clerk, would you please present the roll? Thank you. That resolution passes. That proposal, and of that $200,000, just for the people hearing, we also, in that money, there is, for the police department, one of the situations that we found is that we had a lot of major intersections that had four-way intersections. We'll be purchasing, you'll see coming to you, purchasing two portable traffic lights. It was rather expensive. That will eliminate the need for an officer out there to direct traffic. And then we have some jaws of life that was needed that the fire department needed some updated and additional resources there. Also, we've got some backup, some battery backed up for some of our lights in some major intersections, particularly those that are around the railroad track that we'll be up doing. They'll have a battery backup because the power goes out. So I think that's the lion's share if I haven't missed nothing. So at this time, good, that item passes unanimous. We'll move to item number 5. And I'll just say this for Madam Clerk, reads this into the record. There's seven individuals here that on the Beer Board, Code of Appeals Board, Design Review, Grievance, Industrial and Stormwater Review. These are people that we did not have in place when y'all approved those boards at the beginning of the year. And we was having a tough time finding the volunteers for some of these boards, and we're backfilling these. And throughout the year, for the guys that may be new on the board, yesterday we had a full board. We had one resign that was on 2 boards, so it's a moving target. So you'll see these as you come to go through. If you'd like to move any of these names for separate discussion, please let me know. If not, I'll read all 7 individuals into the record for a vote to approve. Madam Clerk, I'd ask you to read item number 5 into the record, even though I explained it before you read it.
Appoint members to city boards and commissions.
Thank you. If the nominees are present, would they please stand when I call your name? First individual is Jason Seidel. Will be sitting on the Beer Board. I think Jason was out of town. The next individual is Mr. Greg Easton, the Code Appeals Board. Thank you, Greg. You all right to stand up there, son? Greg is, we thank you. Mr. Steve Hoskins in Design Review Commission. Thank you, Mr. Hoskins. Ashley Mellinger, Grievance Review Board. Thank you, Ashley. Brandon Wisey, Historic Preservation Commission. Thank you, Brandon. Mr. Alan Higdon, Industrial Development Board. Thank you, Mr. Higdon. And Mr. Greg Easton on Stormwater Appeals Board.
I'm going to move we approve.
Been properly motioned. There's been a second. Madam Clerk, you can figure out who that was. And if you're not, please cast the roll for the board. Whether y'all like it or not, you guys are in, and girls. Madam Clerk, will you read item number 6 into the record, please?
Appoint James Draffin as Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation effective March 1st, 2024.
I present Jimbo, as we call him. Jimbo, Mr. Do-It-All. Mr. has done it all, and he's been a great asset. He's been a great asset to our city in the Parks Department, and I present his name before you tonight to be the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation.
Move we approve.
I second that.
Been properly motioned. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. I'm sorry.
Jimbo, I appreciate your willingness to serve this city, and everything I've ever worked with you on, you've done a great job, and we're glad to have you in this position.
I'm going to ask something real quick. I know you put in your 33 years, is that right? 32, okay. So, sorry, but this comes with you have to stay on at least 10 more. So, you can do 40, 50, or whatever. So, thank you, sorry. The mayor forgot to tell you that. Thank you.
Anybody? Alderman Griffin.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the Parks Board, and I cannot tell you how many times I've heard from all the Parks Board members how great Jimbo is at his job, how quick he is, willing to jump in on whatever's needed. So I heartily approve this nomination. I'm so excited for you, and I'm looking forward to working with you even more closely as you move up the chain.
Alderman Reeves.
So two things. One is Jimbo served with us on the parade ad hoc committee and did a great job on the logistics piece for the parade. Really appreciate that. Jimbo, did you stripe the Ellendale football fields like on a regular basis back in the day, or is that a different Jimbo? Then I say yes. Because there was many times I couldn't figure out how to stripe it when I ran football out there. So, just based upon that, I would vote for you. But no, I think you do a great job and appreciate your willingness to serve. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Jack Young.
Jimbo, I just appreciate the years you've been with the city. I've had an opportunity to see you do a lot of things over a lot of years, and I appreciate that, and I think you very much deserve this promotion.
Alderman Williams.
I just want to say we're so happy to have you. When your name was brought up, I haven't worked with you long, but every encounter we've had has been wonderful, and I'm constantly seeing you work. So I'm excited for you and glad for this appointment.
Mr. Mayor, can we just approve by unanimous consent? Is there any way to do that?
It's fine with me.
All right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So, unanimous vote. Jimbo, that needs you to meet me down front. Jimbo, place your left hand and raise your right hand. And you want the kids down here too? Come on. It's a family deal. There we go. Jimbo, please repeat after me. I, James Daffin, do solemnly swear.
I, James Daffin, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Bartlett.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of Assistant Director for the City of Bartlett.
Did good. And uphold the Charter and ordinances of the City of Bartlett.
And uphold the Charter and ordinances of the City of Bartlett.
The Constitution and laws of the State of Tennessee.
Constitution and the laws of the State of Tennessee.
And of the United States of America.
And of the United States of America.
I further swear.
That
I will perform the duties.
As
Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation.
As Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation.
Without favor or partiality. And not affected by personal consideration. Of gain or conflict. This I do solemnly swear. So help me God. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Mayor, and thank the board for the vote of confidence and the opportunity. I want to thank my wife and my family, my friends and my coworkers, and the citizens of Bartlett. I won't let y'all down.
You going to sign afterwards or now? Okay, good. Afterwards, please join me down here with sign those. All right. I don't know what the next item is, but Madam Clerk, read it into the record, please.
Appoint Todd Halford as Chief Communications Officer effective March 1st, 2024.
Move we approve.
Second.
Been properly motioned and second. All those in... You want to do this unanimous?
Let's do it
No,
unanimous.
I got one comment. I have to apologize to Halford. This afternoon, he sent me a 6-page email for me to read before his appointment. And I left that email at home, so I'm sorry, Halford, I'm not going to be able to read that. But thank you for sending that to me.
Alderman Quinn.
I just want to say real quick, I don't know what I can say about Todd that he hasn't already said about himself, but But we are looking forward to this, we think, and just wishing well. And you have to put in 10 years or so, too. So just what you know. Thank you. Sorry.
Anybody? Mr. Alderman Griffin.
Very excited to have Todd in this position. I think he's the perfect person for this role. I'm looking forward to working with him. And as a communications person myself, I admire the work that he's done already for BPD, and I look forward to what he's going to do for the city of Bartlett.
Alderman Williams? Alderwoman?
Yeah.
Superwoman?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman?
I just wanted to say I am so happy for you, Todd. We've had many encounters and conversations and talked about the social media platform and how you present the Bartlett Police Department and make people really want to be engaged in it. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do for the city of Bartlett. So thank you for stepping up to do this for us.
Alderman Reeves?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I ran into Todd. My parents live in Oak Forest subdivision down the street from Todd, and I ran into him like randomly in the street, and he like came out and he had like 15,000 ideas about communications, which to me that's a great sign. I think you'll do a great job. We have a lot of opportunity, and I think you're gonna really do a good job taking advantage of it. The citizens are going to benefit from the communications improvements that we are making, which is the reason why we created this job, was because we needed it. And so thankful for you and your willingness to serve.
Vice Mayor Young.
Todd, you've done a lot of communicating with me over the past, and some of those I'd like that we just strike from the record. And remember that you're now being appointed. It's a whole different story there, brother. But I'm looking forward to working with you, and I know you'll do a great job for the city. Thank you.
Even though we broke Robert Rules of Order and should have got a motion in a second, it's a good sign, Todd. Things are looking pretty good for you. Things are looking pretty good. Can I get a motion?
We already did.
Did we? Okay, I'm sorry. My fault. So, Madam Clerk,
Mr. Mayor, I say we approve by unanimous consent.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Todd, there's no backing up now. You meet me down front. We keep one handy. There's one up there behind you, Steve. There you go. The good thing about you, Todd, is you always bring a smile to everybody's face. I, Todd Halford, do solemnly swear
I, Todd Halford, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Chief Communication Officer for the City of Bartlett.
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Chief Communications Officer for the City of Bartlett,
And will uphold the Charter
and will uphold the Charter
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the City of Bartlett,
of the City of Bartlett,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Tennessee,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Tennessee,
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
I further swear
I further swear
that I shall perform my duties as Chief Communications Officer
that I shall perform my duties as Chief Communications Officer
without favor or partiality,
without favor or partiality,
and not affected by personal consideration
and not affected by personal consideration
of gain or conflict.
of gain or conflict.
This I do solemnly swear,
This I do solemnly swear,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new Chief Communications Officer.
Hello? Who turned me off? All right. I get nervous in front of crowds, as you guys all know. But I did want to say thanks, Chief. I know Mr. Sones will back me up when I say when City Hall's recruiting from the police department, you guys are doing something right. And we appreciate that. Thank you, guys. You guys are in good hands. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, me. That's dangerous giving him a microphone sometimes. But, wow, we've got a new Parks and Rec assistant director, and Todd wouldn't have another position is already created. Causes Todd, we had to create one. And really excited about that. And I believe that this city will benefit in a lot of ways because he brings a lot of talent to the table and does a good job. And with that being said, we'll move to open discussion, to be open to the board first, and then the directors. Does the board have anything they would like to share? Seeing nothing from the board first. Any director? Seeing nothing from the directors, if any citizen completed open discussion citizens forum prior to the start of the meeting, they may come forward and state their name and address for the record. Each citizen will have up to 3 minutes, at which time a buzzer will sound, and at that time they must sit down. There's a total time limit for open discussion for a period of 20 minutes. So if you're in the crowd and you're a citizen, you have anything you'd like to bring forth to this board, please come to the microphone at this time. Seeing no one come forward, I would say that concludes the business for this board meeting on Tuesday, February the 27th.
Motion to adjourn.
Been properly motioned and second. Meeting adjourned.